context. For our audiences, as you just saw, we touched on a larger picture there. Questions right now of the Congress's central leadership. The Congress faced another jolt on Sunday after senior party leader Anand Sharma resigned as chief of the Congress steering committee in the poll-bound state of Himachal Pradesh. This comes after another key G23 leader, Ghulam Nabi Azad, also a very senior leader at the party, his resignation as the chairman of the campaign committee of Jammu and Kashmir's Congress. Given that the election to the Congress president's post is due in September, Sharma and Azad's actions are being viewed as the G23 possibly signalling their displeasure over the state of affairs within the party. Remember, the countdown for various party and state polls have begun. Regional parties also are asking multiple questions from the central leadership. So a question remains as to who will step in to the party's leadership. My colleague Pallavi is with us right now to bring us more context on this entire story. Pallavi is our senior editor. Pallavi, we've watched a similar game of musical chairs play out within the Congress party again and again over the years. I'd like to ask you, a few days away from the Congress party choosing its possible next president, how do you see the events panning out?
To those who argue that Anand Sharma is not really a grassroots leader and therefore they should not be worried about, is actually the counter worry within the Congress party, because what are you doing at this point of time? He's not just a G23 member, he's always been seen someone who's been a staunch Congress loyalist, very close to both Rajiv Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi. Now we are talking about elections within the Congress party for the presidential post. Clearly the Gandhi siblings don't want to continue, nor does Sonia Gandhi. And then you look at a non-Gandhi. But while the process is on, the fact that one leader after another is making these kind of comments or seems to be rebelling, it just makes the Gandhis look weaker. And I think when the Congress is at its lowest, in a sense, the worry any case among the Gandhis is that will they lose complete grip over the party should a non-Gandhi be made the party president? And it's likely to set the cat among the pigeons. That's a perception battle which they're going to be facing. At the state elections, going to give a quick example of Captain Amrinder Singh. He may have fared very badly himself, but he ended up damaging the Congress party both in the state elections and also in terms of perception.
Okay, Pallavi, thank you so much for bringing us your expertise on the story. We have Tom Vadakkan from the BJP. He's with us this morning to bring us his context on the entire story. Tom, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Sir, if you could share with our audiences what your opinion is. These are developments we brought over the weekend. It seems, once again, murmurings in the G23 of deep dissatisfaction with the senior leadership. Sir, what is your first reaction?
Well, I've known Anand Sharma ji for almost 2 decades and more. He's been with the party for 50 years and is a long-serving loyalist of the Gandhis. Apparently, if he also faces such music, it is a state of affairs that the party is going through. Anand ji resigned from the Himachal that committee, a very apex committee, and then he's not. You see, the whole idea is you isolate the man. You position him somewhere, and then decisions are taken in somewhere else. And if that decision starts happening, then I think a lot of people will, any self-respecting person will walk out. And that's the game they've been playing, and they have to pay a price for this. How long will they continue doing this? Nobody can be loyal to others without being loyal to oneself. And I think Anand Sharma ji has taken the right step of stepping out from that committee.
Okay. And Tom, if I could also ask you here, how do you see the current struggle panning out, especially where we've seen Priyanka Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, all in different ways make it clear that they're not looking for that party president post. Sir, how do you see this panning out?
Well, they know that basically the Congress Working Committee will be the chorus and will sing the tune that we can't do without the Gandhis. So these are all, cosmetic issues, because they know ultimately it will come to their doorstep. So they'll make this pronouncement, and ultimately, well, nobody's there. We have no other option. So either one of the Gandhis will become. It's a private limited company confined to the Gandhis, and they know fully well. The Congress Working Committee is basically full of their own people, and there's no electoral process involved in it. And they are there, and they will be the last word in recommending the Gandhis again.
Sir, if I may ask you, because our audiences may remember that you were once a Congress leader, you joined the BJP back in 2020. So when you look at a situation like this, so what do you think is the need of the hour?
Well, I'm not in a position. I belong to the Bharatiya Janata Party and I'm the national spokesperson. It's not my onerous task to advise the Congress Party on what they should and what they should not. I mean, basic survival kit if they do not have. The leadership has failed to deliver in terms of electoral victories. And if this condition continues, well, it's for them to see the writing on the wall. If they don't see the writing on the wall, they have a problem.
Okay. Mr. Vadakkan, thank you so much for joining us here at CNN News 18 this morning on this entire story. Now we're going to bring you more context on this story. Remember, as we're seeing over here, over the weekend, Anand Sharma, a senior Congress leader, resigning from the Himachal Pradesh steering committee just a few months before Himachal Pradesh sees elections. His resignation being looked at in the context also of Ghulam Nabi Azad, another very senior Congress leader, stepping down from a similar post in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, it's those two leaders' resignation being looked at as one more sign that G23 leaders or a number of senior leadership in the Congress is still not seeing eye to eye with senior Congress leadership like the Gandhi. Now,